or not. Let us start with lesson number 7.6. That is probabilities, find probabilities of compound events. Okay, first you just see the example. And till yesterday, I have shown you how to write the T diagram with like example, if it is green and blue with the T diagram. So how are you choosing different colors, different combinations? And now we were learning to write the sample space, and today we will learn to do the probability of these compounds, these compound events. So here are a few examples. Example by example, I'll explain, and then we'll start with the exercise.
How can a model help you find the probability of a compound event? Think about this question during the lesson. Sadie has one ticket left at the school fair, and she hasn't yet won a prize. She decides between two games. Which game should she play? Let's think about how we calculate probability.
Now, girls, she has how many games? She has 2 games. Okay, flip to win and flip and spin. She has spin and she even have head and tails. So there are 2 probabilities here given together in one question.
Does having more possible outcomes make it more likely or less likely that Sadie will win?
Now, girls, tomorrow I'm going to explain you for your test also the word likely, unlikely, and then it was impossible and content. I think you remember, if it is less than 50%, it is unlikely. Or imagine if I ask you 4 out of 10. If I say you 4 out of 10, what are you going to say, Zishan? Is it likely or unlikely? Yes, Dana? 4 out of 10. You will say likely or unlikely? Simple, 40% is not okay. It's unlikely. Likely is something above 5, like 60%, 70%, okay? So, does have more possible outcomes.
For our first step, let's focus on the game Flip to Win.
Okay, this is the first game, Flip to Win. You have head and tail. What are the possible outcomes, girls, for head and tail? Like together you have head and head. Either I have head and head. In the next, I can have head and tail. Like, they have 2 coins. Or tail and head. Or tail and tail. Right? Is there anything else I can do? So these were the possible outcomes. Head with head and tail, tails with head and tail. Like that we'll do with the second game. Let us see what she says here.
We can use a table to determine the probability of winning a prize playing Flip to Win. The first flip will be either heads or tails. The second flip will also be either heads or tails. So there are 4 possible outcomes. And there's 1 favorable outcome, 2 heads. What is the probability of winning?
Girls, how do you know that they are favorable outcomes? How do you know? Because here in the picture they gave you that if they get 2 heads, that means they win. If they get 2 heads, they win. And how many times they get 2 heads, girls? Look at the picture. How many times they get 2 heads? Very carefully look at the picture and say me how many times, like in the box, see here and say how many times do they get H and H. There's only 1 chance that they get H and H. Here, H and H is only 1 chance out of 4 chances. Head, 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 tail, head, and tail, tail. And what do they want here? They want head and head. So 1 chance of getting head and head out of total, how many were there, girls? Total outcomes, how many were total outcomes? Total, how many outcomes were there? There were 4 possible outcomes in which there is 1 chance you get head and head. So your answer is 1 out of 4. Judy, are you getting it? First thing, I write all my possible outcomes, how we learned in the last lesson. Then you see how many total possible outcomes are there? There are 4. In that, they ask a question that what possible outcome where you get only head and head. There is only one time you get head and head. So it is 1 out of 4. Is this clear? Dana, Zishan, Noor, and Judy?
Yeah.
Winning a game of Flip to Win.
Select your answer.
Tell me, girls, what did I tell you? What will be the answer? What will be the answer of PHH? How many chances of PHH is there? Possible answers. Come on, girls. Hello. How many possible outcomes have you seen with head, tails, tail, heads, and tail, tail? How many outcomes you see here? Noor?
Yeah.
How many outcomes you see here in the box? Head, head, tail, tail, head, and tail, tail. 4 possible outcomes. Did you get the question or shall I explain again?
Explain it.
See, we have 2 coins. We have 2 coins. All right. And we are tossing it together. Maybe one with Judy and one with you. Okay. So first was the chance of getting head, head. Both of you get head. Second is head and tail. Head to you and tail to Judy. Next is tail to you and head to Judy, or both of you get tail. These are the possible outcomes, what you can get. Nothing else than this. So there are 4 possible outcomes in total. Now they are saying, whenever you get 2 head together, that time is the time you win. So what is the chance of getting head and head? There is only 1 chance of getting head and head. So it's 1 out of 4. So my answer is 1 out of 4. That is 1 over 4. Now, did you get it?
Divide the number of favorable outcomes by the number of possible outcomes. The probability of 2 heads is 1/4, or 25%. Now, let's use a second table to determine the probability of winning a prize playing Flip and Spin. Spinning the spinner has 4 possible outcomes: red, yellow, blue, and green. Flipping the coin has 2 possible outcomes: heads and tails. Our table shows each of the 8 outcomes of this compound event.
Girls, it is not at all easy. Please concentrate. Okay. 2 games you are playing together. You are also doing the flip and spin. You are also doing the, you are also doing flip and you're also doing spin. So we have 4 colors. We have red, we have yellow, we have green, and we have blue. So red and head, red and tail. Yellow and head, yellow and tail. Blue and head, blue and tail. Green and head, and green and tail. So how many total also? Same way how I have told you about the tree. Remember last time? I just write red, I'll write blue, green, and yellow. So either with red you will get both head and tail, that is red head and red tail, blue head and tail, green head and tail, and yellow head and tail. Now did you understand with the tree one? Red head and tail, blue head and tail, green head and tail, green head, green tail, yellow head, yellow tail. These all are possible outcomes. So 2 from here, 2 from blue, 2 from green, 2 from 8 possible outcomes you have. Did you get this point till here?
Yes.
Okay. Now what did they ask you in the question? They want head. They want head and they want, let us see what they want here. She decides between 2 games, which game she should play, okay?
Only one of the 8 outcomes is favorable, meaning there's only one way to win a prize playing Flip and Spin. This outcome is blue on the spinner, and heads on the coin flip.
See, the question is, they have shown you the picture. You want a head and you want blue. Flip a head and spin blue to win a prize. They said if you flip one head and if you spin blue, you will get maybe a big car. Like that. You have to get a head, and simultaneously when you're doing a spinner, there's a game. You have to get blue. So there's only one chance out of 8 chances. See, these are the chances. In that, you have only one blue and head. See, yeah, B and H. Only one time out of 8 chances. That's why your answer is 1 out of 8. And when you do 1 out of 8, you get some answer and you multiply with 100. So you get 12.5%. Is it likely or unlikely? Is it likely or unlikely, girls? 1 out of 8. You will get such question day after tomorrow. 5 out of 8. Is it like, or 5 out of 10? Or 6 out of 10. Is it likely or unlikely? You will get this. The word likely means.
Likely.
See, listen to me. When I say the word likely, that means good mark. When I say unlikely, that means nobody's liking that mark. 12.5% out of 100%. Is it likely or unlikely? 12.5%. Zishan. Miral.
Miss likely. Yes, miss.
Noor, you told me the answer is likely, right? Or unlikely? What did you tell me?
Likely.
12.5%. This, do they like this mark or do they unlike this mark? If your mother is selecting and she says 12.5% you got out of 100%, is it good or bad?
Bad.
So is it like, is it a mark to like or is it a mark to
Unlike.
Of course, unlike. This way, please remember. Got it? If I say 3 out of 10, unlike. 6 out of 10, like, because above 50% is better, good. Below 50% is very bad. So did you get this point clear?
Yeah.
I'm focusing again. Day after tomorrow, you have a test on this, and that is a quarter test, girls. We cannot take a re-quarter test. We cannot give you even a single mark extra there. You know very well. Dana, you got the concept?
Yeah.
Okay. See, one question, I'm just doing the first example. I'm still on that.
Flip. The probability is 1/8, or 12.5%. Now we're ready to compare the probabilities of winning each game. The probability of winning a prize at Flip to Win is 25%, while the probability of winning a prize at Flip and Spin is 12.5%.
Like if you go and play a game, which one will you choose? You will choose the probability of 25% or 12.5%. Which one will you choose? Which game do you want to play? The both of the coin one, or you want to play the coin and the spin one? Which game will you like to play when you go there? To win. Either flip to win or flip and spin, both you want.
Flip to win.
Yeah, because flip to win is easy. Getting 2 heads together is easier than even getting a head and getting a blue color in the spinner. So of course, flip to win. I will also choose flip to win. One minute, girls. Now let me just erase this. And please try this. Now this is on page number 392. This is a question of page 392. You will write it, girls. Page 392. Try it. The designer of Flip and Spin creates a new game using a 5-section spinner, okay? As shown. How many sections? 5. Yani total is 5. How does the new spinner change the probability of winning a prize? Using the 5-section spinner, the probability of winning the same prize, before it was out of 4, but now it is out of 5. Girls, which color is extra here? Which color is extra? Before it was only red, blue and green, yellow. When we were writing, it was only red, blue, green, yellow. Now we have orange also. And in each I told you divide 2. That is 2 head and tail, 4 head and tail, 6 head and tail, yellow head and tail, 8, and you have here so that means you have 10 here instead of 8 outcomes. You don't have 8 outcomes, you have 10 outcomes. How many outcomes you have, girls? You have 10 outcomes here. So, but the chance will be 1 only, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. One out of 10. Shh. It is 1 out of 10, but how I'm gonna write it here? Okay, here they are saying it is 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Girls, just give me a moment. Okay, yeah, girls. You get 1 out of 10. I don't know why I cannot type here, but I will just say you that this is 1 out of 10. Okay, 1 out of 10. And 1 out of 10 is how much? If you calculate, is it likely or unlikely, girls? 1 out of 10 is how much? Use the calculator and tell me. 1 out of 10 will be 0.1. Multiply by 100. 10%. 10%. Is it likely or unlikely, girls? 10%. Is it likely or unlikely? Zishan, 10%. Is it likely or unlikely?
Likely?
It is unlikely. Still, you.
And
Why is it unlikely, Zishan?
because it's this number.
1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Will you like that mark? You will unlike that.
Oh.
You will not like that mark. Remember this way, Adishan, please. If instead of 1 out of 10, I write here 7 out of 10, that means it is likely. 6 out of 10, it is likely. But below 5, it is unlikely. Please, please, please remember that. Done, girls? Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay, now. Example 2, let us do the example 2 first. That is page number 393. You can see the same question here. 393, page 393. What is the probability that a coin flipped 3 times will land head up exactly 2 times? Again, what is the probability that a coin flipped 3 times? You're flipping that 3 times. And what do you think? That it can you can get heads twice? Yes, you can get head twice and 3 times. Flip 1, I got head and tail. Flip 2, I got here HT and TH. And finally, I got flip 3. If I flip first time, With head, I get head and tail. With this is they have given you the you have given you the what do you call that outcomes that you have. How many outcomes, girls? Finally, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 outcomes. You have 8 outcomes, and they ask you 2 heads. Girls, in which picture do you see 2 heads? How many pictures do you see 2 heads together? Please tell me, in which flip do you see 2 heads together? Is there any flip where you see 2 heads together? Girls,
Yes, miss.
see H and H together with each other. See the outcomes here. See the outcomes. Here I find H and H together, and here I find H and H together. And one more, girls. One more place here. Right? Other places you have H and H beside each other. So you have 3 outcomes out of 8. So your answer is 3 out of 8. This is a complicated one, even if we leave this question, but at least just tell me. 37.5, is it likely or unlikely? 37.5. Is it likely or unlikely? I'm not gonna, girls. Honestly, I feel like that I blast. 37.5%. Noor, is it likely or unlikely? Majdulin, welcome Majdulin. 37.5. Is it likely or unlikely? Can you hear me, girls? Noor?
Yes. Miss me?
37.5%. Likely or unlikely?
Miss me?
Yes, Noor. This mark, if you get, is it a good mark or a bad mark? 37% out of 100%.
Unlikely.
Unlikely. Why? Then when you all know the answers, why are you not replying? Anyways. Let us start with the exercise. Come on, guys. Yeah. Please read it out. One of the 3 contestants. Come on, girls. One of the 3 contestants. Zishan, please read this out. One of the 3 contestants will be
Miss, the screen is not there.
It's not there.
Miss, we can't see the screen.
Now can you see?
No.
From that time, could you see the screen or no? Before?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
One of the 3
now we
contestants.
can see it.
Yes, you have your book, right? I told you page 394, question number 4. Okay, one of the 3
One of this. 3 contestants will be randomly selected to win a prize. One of 3 different prizes will be randomly awarded to the contestant whose name is selected to win. The tree diagram shows all possible outcomes of his
You have
contest.
Pedro, you have Whitney, you have Brian. Okay, either he can get prize 1, 2, 3. Either Whitney can get prize 1, 2, 3, or Brian. You have Pedro can get the first prize, Pedro can get the second prize, Pedro can get the third prize. Then you have Whitney. Whitney can get the first prize, Whitney can get the second prize, Whitney can get the third prize, like that. How many possible outcomes first there are? Please count and tell me. How many possible outcomes are there? How many possible outcomes are there? Count and tell me. 3 with Pedro, 3 with Whitney, and 3 with Brian. Tell me how many outcomes are there, Zishan?
3.
When I say outcomes, that means you must count all of these.
I add them or I just count?
Three outcomes from Pedro, 3 from Whitney, and 3 from Brian. That means total how many are there? 3 plus 3 plus 3.
9.
9. This is your denominator. Now the question is asked, what is the probability that Whitney win the prize 2? Whitney win prize 2. Prize 2 and Whitney. How many times Whitney got prize 2? Only one time. So your answer is 1 out of 9. Now did you get it or no?
Yes.
Out of 9. First thing you need to write down how many outcomes will come out. Then you need to see what is asked in the question. Whitney will win prize 2. There is only one time that they win prize 2. You'll write 1 out of 9. Okay? The table shows all possible outcome from flipping a coin and spinning the point of the spinner with 4 equal sizes, section label 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you have heads and fern, head and 2, head and 3, head and 4. Tail and 1, tail and 2, tail and 3, tail and 4. You have 8 possible outcomes. What is the probability that the pointer will stop on 3 and the coin will land on head? So I want H and 3. Head and 3, there is only one head and 3 here. So 1 out of 8 is your answer. You will get 1 out of 8. Why 1 out of 8? Because you have only one head and 3 numbered together here only one time. And total you have 8. Sorry, so you have 1 out of 8. 1 out of 8 because there are 8 outcomes. See, count here the outcomes. How do you count the outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the denominator, you will write 8 and you will write one possible outcome out of 8. Question B, 5B, put a cross mark. Now girls, after 5 minutes, I'll come back to you with the science class. Tomorrow we'll continue with this. And please don't panic. I totally understand this is